Bourbon and a Baby.
Hello, welcome to Bourbon and a Baby. My name is Jay. Max is not going to be joining us tonight because Max is too busy watching Mickey Mouse Clubhouse to be able to join me for a bourbon tasting. He's a little too young too. And it's a value whiskey day. I said bourbon tasting in the intro, but we're actually drinking a rye, and we're drinking Old Forester Rye. Old Forester Rye, 100 proof. This is kind of the baby of previous Old Forester Master Taster, Jackie Zykan. She just recently left Old Forester, but she was their rock star Master Taster. She was the one that really pushed this project forward. So yeah, this is 100 proof, which is great. It's a rye. And Old Forester Rye has kind of a unique rye mash bill from a lot of other ryes that are out there. It is 65% rye, 20% malted barley, and 15% corn. So a lot higher of a percentage of malted barley in here than you're going to get in most ryes or bourbons as that stands. Now this is kind of known and was put together. It's the bottle itself is $23, so it's a really affordable rye whiskey, and the goal of keeping it at that price point and at 100 proof was to try to kind of get this to where bartenders can use this rye for cocktails like your Manhattans and such. So that was really important to I know Jackie. That was what she really pushed for when she was pushing this product, was to keep it at that low price point so that it could be used for that. And it's often said by many here in the Whiskey Tube community and other bourbon podcasters or blogs often point to this as a good entry level rye. As far as like if you're first getting into rye whiskeys, this is a good one to start with, as well as good for mixing, whether that be cocktails or in like a highball. So yeah, let's go ahead and check the nose on this. I do get the rye, that spiciness from the rye, but it's not overwhelming. It's almost more like hints of it. There's like a fruity sweetness coming off of this, like some type of a melon. So a little bit of oak. And really, the more I nose it, the more of that kind of melon I get. So I get the rye, hint of oak, kind of a lot of melon, and just a touch of brown sugar. Just a touch. All right, cheers. Okay. This is an interesting rye. I definitely understand where a lot of people are coming from, where they say this is a good kind of beginner rye if you just want to start getting into it, because it doesn't overwhelm you with that rye spice like a lot of ryes do. And when I was first getting into bourbon and whiskey, that put me off to ryes, and I didn't actually drink or like ryes for a couple of years, and it kind of took some building up to get there. It's definitely not as prevalent here with this. It almost tastes more like a high rye bourbon, but different. It definitely doesn't have a lot of sweetness to it, like a high rye bourbon would. And that's got to be because of the less corn and the higher malt. And I do taste that malt in there a little bit. Not a lot, not like overwhelmingly. And just to kind of throw it out there, I'm not a malt whiskey fan. There's not too many scotches that I like, or American single malts or anything like that. There's a rare couple here or there. But the extra malt here, you can taste. It's in there, but it's not to the point where it's like a single malt. And it actually kind of adds a nice complexity, I think, to this. You wouldn't expect a $23 whiskey to be super complex, and I'm not saying that it is super complex, but there's more going on than I would expect, if that makes sense. Yeah, it's like you get the rye spice, a little peppery, but it's kind of mellow too. It's kind of interesting. It's kind of cool because typically, like I said, those ryes kind of hit you real heavy, and this is there. Like it's a rye, and you can taste it, but it's mellow. So yeah, it's an easy drinker. 100 proof is like kind of a perfect proof point for this. This is good. Now this isn't something that I think that I would sit back and drink neat a bunch. I think this is kind of that perfect whiskey for mixing, whether again you're going to make a Manhattan, an old fashioned. I think this would go really well in a like a whiskey lemonade. I think this would add some nice flavors too. Same with ginger ale. I think it would mix well with ginger. So yeah, for me, mostly this bottle is going to be a mixer, but that's not to say that I wouldn't, on occasion, take a neat or a rocks pour of this. All right, so let me know in the comments, what are your thoughts on Old Forester Rye? What do you think of it? Do you like it? Do you hate it? Is it a mixer? Is it an everyday drinker? Or how do you use it? Hit me up in the comments there. You can follow Max and myself on Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. We're at Bourbon and a Baby on all those platforms. Please give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you would. That would help us out a lot. We are on the march to 1,000. We're barely, but we are over halfway there. Barely. So please subscribe and help us out. Help us get there. Last but not least, you can buy some Bourbon and a Baby merchandise at our shop on Spreadshirt. I'll throw that link in the description below. Cheers. Good, easy drinker. Okay, so as I like to do, I'm going to add about an ounce of this to my Bourbon and a Baby Infinity bottle. All right, there it is.